Let's begin. Today's December 27th, 2024, and we're solving the Daily Turing Machine Puzzle. Today's puzzle uses the following 6 criteria cards. Criteria cards 2, 5, 8, 14, 18, and 22. And the puzzle uses the green verification cards. The code above is your way to get more information on today's puzzle by searching the code on turingmachine.info. Let's go solve. So in the grid above, we've got our 6 criteria cards. On the top row, we've got criteria card A, criteria card B, and criteria card C. On the bottom row, we've got criteria card D, criteria card E, and finally criteria card F. Criteria card A takes a look at our first digit, the triangle digit, and the Turing Machine compares it to the number 3. So should the value of triangle be less than 3? Should it be equal to 3? Or should the value of triangle be greater than 3? Criteria card B, again, takes a look at our first digit, the triangle digit, and the Turing Machine will let us know whether it's an even digit or an odd digit. Criteria card C will take a look at the 3-digit solution, and the Turing Machine will let us know how many ones there are. Are there no ones? Is there a single one? Perhaps 2, maybe even all 3 are 1. Criteria card D will take a look at our 3 digits, triangle, square, and circle, and the Turing Machine will let us know which one is the absolute smallest. Should triangle be the smallest? Should square be the smallest? Or should circle be the smallest? Criteria card E again takes a look at our 3 digits, triangle, square, and circle, but this time it'll add them up, and the Turing Machine will let us know whether the sum total is an even quantity or an odd quantity. And finally, criteria card F will take a look at the digits from triangle to square to circle, and the Turing Machine will inform us a little bit about the ordering of the digits. Should the digits appear in an ascending order, or basically increasing, as in the example 135? Should they appear in a descending order, or basically be decreasing, as in the example 421? Or should they have no order? Let's take a look at the example 231. Notice it goes from 2 to 3, it increases, and then it goes from 3 to 1, decreasing. Of course, you could also have a code that is decreasing and then increasing, but it's basically that shift from one direction to the other that defines a 3-digit code as having no order. Now, we have seen in previous puzzles another scenario where if you have consecutive equal digits, similar to the example in criteria card C, 112. Notice that the ones are consecutive, meaning they are next to each other and they are equal. So the reason consecutive equal digits exhibit no order is because when you go from the first one to the second one, there is no change. It neither increases nor decreases. So therefore, that's why I state that consecutive equal digits exhibit no order. And remember, the objective of today's puzzle is to find that unique 3-digit code that abides by all the 6 criteria cards we just described. And we're going to start off with an initial proposal of 314. So I think the first thing I'd like to test is criteria card B. Okay, so the Turing Machine does not approve of my choice in triangle. Notice that I did pick an odd 3, but since the Turing Machine does not agree with it, it's actually informing us that triangle should actually be even. So let's go ahead and type that up in our notes in section B, and we'll state that triangle is an even digit. And since it is even, let's go ahead and cross out the 3 odds. The next thing I'd like to test is criteria card E. Okay, so again, the Turing Machine does not approve of my choice. In criteria card E, we are adding up the 3 digits. So let's go ahead and do that with the proposal. So 3 plus 1 is 4, 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 is an even quantity, but the Turing Machine does not agree with that. So it's informing us that the sum total should be actually odd. So let's go ahead and type that up in our notes in section E. And we'll state that triangle plus square plus circle should be odd. And what can we tell from that? Well, we already established that triangle must be an even digit. So if we want the overall sum to be odd, that means that one of the other digits in square or circle has to be even, the other odd. So yeah, among square and circle, one is going to be even and the other odd. And the reason for that is when we add up those two evens, that sum total thus far is an even quantity, but you have to add to it an odd digit so that the overall sum remains odd or is odd. So yeah, so we're looking at a solution that has two evens and a single odd. Okay, let's see what else. And of course, we do have this criteria card C. We have established that we can only have one odd digit, so it's either a 1 or not. Otherwise, if it's not, then it would have to be 3 or 5. And we can notice that in criteria card A, now it's a 50-50. It's either a 2 or a 4. What else? I think I'm going to test criteria card D. Okay, so again, the Turing Machine does not approve. In this case, in my proposal, my smallest digit is square, and the Turing Machine does not agree that square is the smallest. So what we'll do is we'll type up the note as either triangle or circle must be the smallest. So let's go ahead and type that up, and we'll say again that triangle or circle, and that's in D. So triangle or circle must be the smallest. Okay, can we say anything about that? Well, since square cannot be the smallest, I don't think square could be a 1, because if square were 1, there's nothing smaller for either triangle or circle to be. So I think that's fair. Yeah, and I think that might be all we can say. Yeah, because technically I think square could be a 2, because circle could be the smallest, and triangle could be equal, right? We do have two evens, so 2 or 4. So yeah, that's plausible. So I don't think we can cross out anything there. Let's see, what else? What about triangle 2? Yeah, I think triangle 2 is okay, because again, circle might be the smallest. Yeah. Okay, well, I think that does it for this round. We did complete our 3 Turing tests. We're now going into the phase where we'll be discussing how to construct a good second round proposal. So as a reminder, we did not test criteria card A. It is a 50-50. It's either a 2 or a 4. We still don't know if there is a 1. If there is a 1, then it would be the smallest, and that would be circle, but we're not sure. And it's still outstanding whether triangle or circle are the smallest. I guess technically you could still have triangle be the smallest, I suppose. And then, of course, we also have criteria card F, letting us know a little bit about the ordering of the 3 digits. Now, I recall in previous puzzles we've been able to deduce criteria card F, but that's only because we have other criteria cards that sort of play against it. I don't know if there's anything here that would help us. Yeah. So let's see, what could we be dealing with? Yeah, this is interesting. I'm trying to see, well, criteria card A is a 50-50. It's either going to be a 2 or a 4. And just based on, previous puzzles, a lot of them do have criteria card F be no order. It's not a guarantee, so anything is possible. And so, but what about criteria card D? What if we do make, say, triangle the smallest? Well, that would be triangle 2. Although I guess it couldn't. Actually, that's a good point. Triangle 4 cannot be the smallest because, again, remember, we do need 2 evens, and 4 is the largest even, so that wouldn't work. So the question is, can triangle 2 be the smallest? Well, yeah, we could have triangle 2. In gameplay, we already know that there shouldn't be a 1 if triangle is the smallest. So I'm not sure if that's plausible to consider. It would have, one of them would have to be a 4. So if that were the case, let's see. If triangle is 2, then we definitely need a 4, and we already know that there isn't a 1. So I guess, are there ambiguous solutions? Well, there are plenty of ascending, meaning 2. It could be 3, 4, or it could be 2, 4, 5. And I don't think there's anything. And of course, we do have criteria card A letting us know, but I think actually, that's a good point. I think we can deduce that triangle has to be 2. Right, because we already established that 4 would not work as the smallest. So yeah, I think we can deduce. Wow, I had not realized that. So yeah, let's type it up. We're going to deduce that triangle is actually less than 3. Very interesting. Okay. So yeah, let's go ahead and type it up. So let's cross out the 4. So we do have 2. Now the question is it the smallest? So as I was stating before, there are multiple ascending solutions, and that would be 2, 3, 4, or 2, 4, 5. So we know it cannot be ascending because there would be no way to distinguish them. What about no order? Well, it could be 2, 3, but it couldn't be 1 or 2 because then 2 wouldn't be the smallest. We're presuming it's the smallest at this point. So that would not work. You could have 2, 4, and then 1, 3 would be distinguished by criteria card C. What about 2, 5? It would be 2, 5, 4. So all those are unique or are distinguishable. So yeah, triangle could technically be the smallest. Now, what about circle being the smallest? Well, at this point, it would have to be a 1. And again, it kind of doesn't make sense because we do have criteria card C, but let's play along with that. What would that be? It would be 2. The only possibility would be 2, 4, 1. So that seems like it's too convenient, so to speak. There just seems to be more depth to triangle being the smallest. Yeah. So in fact, I think I'm going to try that out. I'm going to say 2, 4, and it's either going to be 1 or 3. So let's go ahead with, say, 2, 4, 3. And let's just make sure we're covered here. So based on the deduction, yes, 2 is okay for triangle. It is less than 3. It is even. We're stating that, at least in this case, that, yeah, triangle is the smallest. And the sum does seem to be odd. 7 plus 2 is 9, yes. So let's give that a try. Now, let's see, which one would be most important to test? If we're able to determine that triangle is the smallest, what if there were no ones? Well, that may actually be a good test, because if there is a 1, fantastic, we know which one is the smallest. And if not, that would mean that triangle would have to be the smallest. Yeah, I think that might be a good test. Let's actually do criteria card C. Okay, it does not like the fact that there is no 1. The absence of 1 is not approved by the Turing machine. So that means that there is a 1. So we'll type it up as we're deducing that there is a 1. So that the solution has a single 1, which means that circle must be the smallest. So let's go ahead and cross out and I'll just type it up that we deduced this result. So that means that circle must be the 1, and that's our lone odd. So that means that square has to be, well, oh, okay, so yeah, so this is where I believe criteria card F plays a role. Is it going to be a 2 or a 4? 1 is no order, the 2, 2, 1, and the 2, 4, 1 is, well, actually, they're both no order. Wait, that can't be. 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 4, 1. Okay, something is not right. So let me recall, how did we deduce that it couldn't be 4? Well, okay, that's where the mistake is, because I was presuming that perhaps triangle was the smallest, and that's not the case. Circle is the smallest, so that does open up. Okay, so let me see. If I go back and cross out the 2, so based on that, I don't think it can be a 2. So I'm going back to saying that it's a 4. Now, we haven't tested it, but I believe this 2 would actually be, the argument would be that it would cause ambiguous solutions, as in 2, 2, 1 or 2, 4, 1. Those are both no order. So let me go ahead and I'm going to cross out this and actually replace it with, we're deducing that triangle is greater. Wow, what a reversal. So it's greater than 3, meaning it's a 4. And at this point now, it is distinguishable by criteria card F, because you either have 4-2-1 descending or 4-4-1 no order. So we will have to test criteria card F. Okay, and it did approve of the no order. So let's type up that. We'll say that the solution has no order. Okay. And yeah, so at this point, circle is the smallest. We deduce that it must be the 1, because we were told that there has to be a 1, and it was the only remaining. It couldn't be 2, because then we'd have 2 ambiguous no order, so forcing us to say that triangle is greater than 3 or the 4. And now that it has no order, that means that square cannot be the 2. Square must be the 4. Okay, so let's kind of review very quickly. So we're saying that the solution should be 4-4-1. And let's review. So yes, the first digit is greater than 3. It is even. We deduced that the solution should have a single 1. And that would mean that circle, again, we deduce that it's the smallest. It is. The sum is odd. Yeah, the sum total is 9. And that has no order. Okay, well, let's go verify. So 4-4-1. So very interesting. 4-4-1. Okay, fantastic. Well, how did we do versus a Turing machine? Well, it is a 6 criteria card puzzle, and we only did it in 5, so that's very promising. And we did BDE in the first round, all wrong, and then we did CF. So we outright deduced A. Luckily, we backtracked and got it right, in the sense that since we did get the solution, it must be true. So let's type up BDE in the first round. So all wrong. But as we've learned, even incorrect answers still enable us to remove what is not possible or what's not acceptable and modify our interpretation and our and remove options that are no longer valid. Well, let's see. How do we do? Okay, so we beat the Turing machine by 1 question. That's great. So again, very lucky to have discovered basically proof that our initial deduction was actually incorrect. It was based, I guess, on the fact that I thought that perhaps triangle was the smallest. And so, but that was not the case. And, but we caught the mistake in time. And then here again, as an example, that these are consecutive equal digits. So an example of no order when you have consecutive equal digits. Well, how did you solve it? What criteria cards did you choose, and did you discover anything interesting that you'd like to share? Add those thoughts to the comments. If you did like the video, please do give it a thumbs up so that more people can find the channel. And of course, don't forget to hit subscribe to not miss out on any future videos. Well, until next time, have a great one.